I don't know how this works.
My cigarette's dead now. That's sad.
I guess maybe it's working.
I think it's recording.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. My name's William. This is Andy and Nicholas. We just wanted to give you a little update as to what happened tonight at the show in West Dundee, Illinois.
Rock and roll happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, some not so rock and roll happened.
Yeah.
I guess the security guards kind of had to stick up their ass before the show even began. I wasn't there at the beginning of the show to see the local bands, but during Motionless and Whiteset at the very end, we were standing out back waiting to go on stage, and before their set ended, both the back door and the side door come bursting open, and security is chasing out TJ, the guitar player. I guess he jumped on the crowd, and they pulled him out during their set, and fucking...
I guess what had happened was that they had this whole, like a lot of venues have no stage diving, that kind of thing. And during the sound check, they, for Motionless, I guess they had told the members not to jump off the stage, and while they were playing, I guess, like at a lot of shows, kids were tugging at TJ's ankles, and he fell into the crowd, and when he got up, one of the security guys there grabbed him, like sort of bear grabbed him, and basically threw him back while his guitar was still in his hand to the backstage area. And so that sort of set off the chain of events that happened when Will started playing, and it was kind of tense in there.
Yeah, I mean, the security there was already a bad vibe. We went out on stage during our intro, and in typical, William Control fashion, I came out with a cigarette, just like I've done in pretty much every show in this fucking tour.
I think so.
And have, for the last couple of years. But instead of saying, from the side of the stage, hey, maybe put out your cigarette or give me some kind of sign, the security guard decided to come out and kind of manhandle me, bear hug me from behind, which, first, you don't just come out on stage and during an artist performance. And second, you don't manhandle another guy from behind. It's just something.
It's so simple to tap somebody on the shoulder and say, "Hey, like, a cigarette in here."
Well, I mean, they sort of had a vendetta against us for whatever reason the whole tour. Every one of us sort of had a weird vibe from it. It's sort of the macho men mentality, and I think that ultimately they weren't really interested in being subtle, and they wanted Will and whatever he represented to be off the stage. I don't know why, but I think that at the end of the day, they were being as welcoming as they possibly could be to us.
Yeah, so the battle then ensued after. I didn't leave the show because I couldn't smoke a cigarette. I could really give a fuck about that. I left the venue because they fucking kicked us out, and they told us that we weren't going to play the show. So we want to apologize for not being able to do the show. We were really looking forward to playing, in Chicago, the outskirts of Chicago. We haven't been here with this project. Aiden has been here lots of times, and we have a great fan base, and you guys are incredible, and we get all your messages and all your, replies and whatever, and we were really looking forward to playing the show tonight and playing these songs for you. So it's a real bummer that we had to fucking go off stage after playing one song without even the front of house sound on. Yeah. So we really, we want to apologize for that. The other thing we wanted to talk about was the way that you guys treated, both acts. I mean, some of the fans were sending, some of the Black Veil fans were sending us messages of "fuck you," and some of the people were saying to Andy outside, your band fucking sucks and you're a faggot, which is just not. That's not okay. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think at the end of the day, and I when we were finally allowed to play, which by the way, what I found interesting was that people sort of attributed Will not being able to play to us, like we had wanted Will to stop playing, which is sort of a funny notion considering that ultimately we play with Will and Nicholas every night, and we quite enjoy that.
And you were standing on stage with us.
I was standing on stage trying to get between the security guard and try to get with my tour manager trying to get the security guards off the stage. Yeah. But I think that I can understand being upset. If you come to see an act and they can't play. But ultimately, I think that they sort of misplaced their anger, and there were a lot of kids that on both sides were upset with you know, Will's fans and our, you know, they were upset with us, but I promised that we didn't kick Will and Nick off the stage, and that was not our intention. In fact, I watch them play every night, and I quite like it.
Now, you know, there's just some guys that work their security jobs who are absolutely amazing and accommodating, and they know the score, and they know that they're there to keep, you know, people from tearing each other's heads off, and people from, you know, from jump kicking people in the face. Most security guards know the job at hand, which is to protect the artist and to protect the people at the show. But tonight was a total fucking just disrespect to artists, to guys in bands who do this for a living. I mean, we're not new. We've been doing this for fucking almost a decade. We've played in every venue in America, almost every venue in the fucking, you know, in the world. And tonight was just a total lack of respect for what we do, and it's not as if we're new, you know.
Yeah, and the way that they treated the situation was pretty absurd. I mean, ultimately, Will smoking a cigarette, and they blew up because of that, and then it became, well, you know, fuck you, you know, you're an asshole, get off the stage, and it was incredibly inappropriate. And then, you know, what happened after that, and the way that they reacted, and you know, wanting to get, you know, cops involved and everything else for nothing. You know, nothing happened. He defended himself like anyone would when someone is, you know, being physically abusive to them, and especially when you're on stage. I mean, it's already a, you know, you're up on stage to do your job, and you do it night in and night out, and you have your routine, and you know how you act on stage, and you interact with the fans. And when there's house lights on and there's a security guard standing right in the middle of the crowd, and he won't let people have fun, it's already a tense situation. And because of what had happened going into Will's set, you know, it's that much worse. And you know, ultimately, we played tonight, and I will say that a lot of people got upset about that after what happened with Will. But it's important to note that this is, you know, this is our livelihood, and you know, we have to be able to play our shows. And for the fans that were inside, they wanted to hear us play. I you know, I went out and I asked, you know, is it okay with you guys if we play? And you know, the vast majority of people said yes. It was never meant to be a slight or any disrespect to Will or Motionless, but you know, we do have to do our job, and this is my job of work, and at the end of the day, I still have to be able to do that. And for what that's worth, I mean, we did our best. It was a very weird show. We had multiple security guards on stage, pretty much everything that they could do to stop me from having any fun on stage or stop the kids from having any fun in the audience happened. The way I described it on stage tonight, and some of you that were there watching this video, I described it as rock and roll in school suspension. You're just in this place, and you're not allowed to have any fun or move. But you know, it's a rock and roll show.
And how would that be fair to any of the kids that came to see you to like not give them a show when you're capable of playing a show? But it's like
right. I mean, and that's the way we felt. Which, you know, ultimately, the way that I always feel, and I, you know, and I think a lot of our fans know this, is that I don't really give a fuck what anybody else says. So if I felt like it was right, then it's right. And if, you know, ultimately our audience feels the same way, then that's great. But I think the reason that, you know, any of this happens is, and why, you know, Will and Nick and any of us do this, is because we don't give a shit what anybody thinks. And
that's exactly why we do
this.
this.
that's what rock and roll is supposed to be. It's rebellion. And, you know, I think that there was that room tonight had anything but rebellion in it. It was rock and roll.
It was fucking Disney. It was bullshit. I mean, when did we decide that rock and roll wasn't dangerous anymore? I mean, I understand, you know, you got to keep people safe, and there's children, and you know.
But there's ways about doing
that without being
an asshole.
I mean, it just sickens me.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody's saying that we all think that it should just be a free for all, where everybody's punching each other in the face all the time. Because ultimately, this is a place where, you know, there are young fans, and people want to be able to come and have a good time, and we want you to have a good time. You know, and it's impossible to have a good or bad time when there's just nothing. It's, you know, without conflict, life is boring, and without people jumping up and down and it being sweaty and people screaming, then it's not really a rock show.
No, it's a Miley Cyrus show.
Yeah.
Well, they scream.
Different kind of scream.
Anyway, so we just wanted to give you a little update on what has happened, and you know, maybe think about, even if you fucking don't like a band, or if you don't like someone for what they do as an artist, or whatever it is, still try and keep keep a level of respect, because you wouldn't want someone saying some shit like that to you.
Yeah.
It's just it's fucking disrespectful, and we're all fucked up, man. We're all here doing a job trying to unite disenfranchised youth into a fucking club, because we don't belong in normal society. We don't fucking fit in with the jocks and the fucking pretty girls and the, you know what I mean? We're all kind of here in this scene together because we feel a part of something. And it's really fucked up to think that within that scene there's still hatred and animosity between people who are exactly the same as you.
Yeah, I think that, and if anything, the need to have something that is yours is important. Obviously, you listen to a band and you're like, "Fuck anybody else. This is my band, and this is something that I listen to." But you have to also understand that as bands like our bands, we very much believe in a sense of community and it being, us against the world, because we're all fucked up, and you're fucked up, we're fucked up, and that's okay, and that's basically the message. So, yeah, I mean, any of our fans that got upset, and any of Louis's fans that got upset, please just understand that we're all friends here. We have deep dish pizza over there, smoking room in a hotel, and
we're all doing this for the same reason.
And we're never, ever going to play West Dundee Clearwater Theater ever again.
No. Unless we're in the mood to get beat the shit out of them. Then, if one day I wake up and I say, I want someone to manhandle me, then maybe I'll take a trip down to Clearwater.
You'll never, ever, mark my words, you'll never, ever see me in West Dundee ever again. So, have a good night, everybody. For everyone else, we'll see you on the rest of the dates. This tour has been amazing. It's one of my favorite tours I've ever done. Black Veil Brides, they're going to continue on. So if you live, fucking in this country or in the UK, check out the dates. BlackVeilBrides.com, I think.
It doesn't. Just Google it.
Google it.
You don't Google it.
Put it in the Google machine. All right.
Google.
Bye.